In our last class, we covered data cleaning and data transformation, and we said that is our objective for module 3, and we're able to cover one, which is data cleaning. So today we'll be moving into data transformation and augmentation. So, and to do that, before we move on, we were given some tasks like to read up about Power BI, like a module in Power BI by Microsoft Learn, and a quiz to do. I can see only 60 or 70. Let me see how many people took up the quiz from me. So, so we only have a few people out of over 1,000 of people that is in this class. We only have less than 100 people that did the quiz, and we actually planned the quiz to help us understand more better of what we are doing, of what we covered in class, rather. So, and we only have people that did it, which is not encouraging. Yeah.
The good doctor, God.
Which is not encouraging at all. Which is not encouraging. You see, we only have 90 responses out of over 1,000, over 700 people in the class. So, which is not encouraging. Although the quiz are already closed, and we are not opening it again. So, hello. Sorry. So in our last class, we covered what we call data cleaning, and we performed some cleaning, how to clean. We know what data profiling is, how to assign data categories, how to replace value, how to rename column, and also remove duplicates, and how to filter row, how to create null values. We covered all this in our last class. So if you're not in our last class, kindly go to your email, check the recording sessions, and you can go to it to cover up. So thank you. Today, we are moving into data transformation. And we already explained what data transformation is in our last class, but let's take it as we are moving more into our demo today. So what is data transformation? Data transformation augmentation refers to the process of manipulating and shaping data to make it more suitable for analysis or visualization purpose. Before you can perform your data transformation, you need to your data must already be cleaned. So what data transformation is, okay, you want to add more ingredients, more Maggi to your soup, more ingredients to your food or anything you want to do. So you want to make it more fine. So like you already built it already, adding makeup to your face is making you more gorgeous. So that's what data transformation is. And we're doing much of the demo today and everything we want to do. So let's move into our Power BI. Open your Power BI. So this is the last file we do, day 3, because I have some file there. So after that, what do you have next now? Enter M code. What we call M code, and we're using M scripts for transformation. Yeah. So this is our So for us to go into our Power Query, you come to Transform tab, go to your Power Query. So we'll open your Power Query for you. So, last time we cover what transpose is, blank rows. Under our blank rows, we cover how to remove rows and how to remove columns. So we did all that in our last class. And handling null value, we create some null value, how to use fill function, how to use replace value, and how to remove column, and the different phases where you have null value that you can replace. So we covered everything in our last class. So you can go through that and go through it. So replace value, we already did that. So today, for data transformation, the first thing in data transformation, if you want to transform data, is like merging columns. So we have this column here. We have customer ID, you have first name, you have last name, you have company name. So merging column and split column, you are covering both together, and you're going to see what it is. So to merge a column, it means you want to, instead of you having much of this thing now, you can actually pull this first name and last name, and you can call it a new name. So you can come to this first, click on the first name, and hold on Control on your keyboard and select other one that you want to combine together. And you come to transform in this transform ribbon, and you see merge column at this top here. Can you see that? It means concatenate the current selected column into one column. That's what merge does. So as I click on merge column, it will show a dialog box for us. You can see this now. So what this dialog box is telling you that, okay, choose how you want to merge this column together. How do you want to merge it? There are different separators there. Is it with none? None means it will be anything. We just combine them together. Is it with column? Is it with comma? Is it with cursor? Is it with, but I want you to measure space. I want a space in between them. So I will have first name and the last name. So what is the new name that I want to give the column? It is optional, but the optional one is merge, which is default. So you can change it, you can rename it. I will say I want to call this full name. So when I put full name, you can see what it just did now. It merged the first name and the what? And the last name together, which is Orlando G. This one is making more of our analysis more simple. Instead of us having first name different, second name different. So your analysis now, if you are showing customer to something like count of customer or customer by sales, you can be able to see their full name, Orlando G, characteristics, and all the stuff. So that's how to do merge column. So as we have choose column and remove column, merge column and split column is just like something so similar to. They are just opposites. Once you merge, you can split them again. So if you want to split this one again, who can tell me how we can split this? We merge them with space. If you want to split them, so how would we split them? Let me see in our comments. How would you split them? We merge it together. Someone say they can't see my screen. Thank you. Split delimiter. It's from your hand, patience. So others can see my screen. Thank you. Someone says split delimiter. Thank you. So split delimiter doesn't have the answer. I want another answer. It doesn't answer what we need to do. I need another answer. My screen is too small. Okay. Split delimiter by column. Split column. Split column by delimiter. Yeah, this is what I'm saying called delimiter. Yeah, I see. Someone said I should delete to revert. Thank you. Thank you. Wow, you guys actually already know Power Query. So someone said I should delete this. Once I delete this, it reverts. Wow. I clap for that person. Who is that? Emanuela or Emanuela Noja? Thank you, Victoria. I just see someone that just answered my questions. Please column by space. Thank you so much. Some people are saying delimiter, which is correct answer, but you don't give me the accurate one that I need. So because I merge by space, I can actually split them by space. So for the person that asks for the do of the merge column, you click on what you want to merge. I want to merge first name and last name together to give me full name. So I'll click on first name and I will hold on control and I'll select last name. You can see, and I'll come to transform ribbon and I'll select merge column. So under this merge column, I will now say what is the separator that I want to give them. If I say none, it will just merge them together. All of them will be in the one thing. There will not be anything to do. So let me do first none. So you see what you just did now. So, but if I pull, like I want to put a separator, you see this icon here, it means I want to edit it, which is anytime you see setting in this apply step, it means you want to edit the last day, what you just did. So I'll come here, I will say space. I want to separate them by space and rename them as full name. So you see, when I separate them by space, the space in between the first name and the last name, which gives us the full name. Do you get that now? So, and someone said if you want to split them again, we can split them. I already explained what a merge is for us now. So to now split, you just come here, you click on that column that you want to split, and you come to transform tab and you say split column. When you say split column, you now say by delimiter because you want to split them by space. So when you see delimiter, you will see all those options that you see in merge. You will find them here too. Can you see that now? All those options that you see in merge, you'll find it here. I will now say, you know what? Split them by space. And after you split by space, you now ask you different options here. Where do you want to split them? Leftmost delimiter or rightmost delimiter or each occurrence of the delimiter. What does leftmost delimiter do? It means once you already put this function here, this method here of space, it means once it started counting from this left, which left alignment from O R L A N D O, it means the first place is this space. After it started counting from this beginning, that's where it is split them. Rightmost means it will start from this back here, from this E, from the end. It will start counting down to the forward, to the backward rather. So anyway, it made the first space, that's where it is split them. And each occurrence means anywhere you find space, that's where it is split them. Do you get that? So if I select leftmost now and rightmost for this column, it will give us the same answer. Because even though you count from beginning from Orlando here, the first space you will see is between this G. So it is split them between this G, between this space here. So if I click on OK, you will find the split here. Can you see that now? And if I say, okay, I don't want left, I want right, it will still give me the same answer. Can you see? And if I say I want each occurrence, it will still give me the same answer because we only have one space in this column. Do you get that? It still give me the same answer. But if I come here and I say, you know what? Split this column for me by delimiter. Split this column for me by delimiter. And I pick each occurrence. Okay, let me pick leftmost to understand what I mean very well now. You see, it choose, if I come to the last step here, you see we have a bike store, Progressive Sports. Because I choose leftmost, it means anywhere you see that space, when it starts count from the beginning, that's where you should split. The first space you first see, that's where you should split. And when I split it, you see, we have other one that has space here because I only pick the left one. That's why it splits from the left, the first left space you see. And if I say, okay, I don't want left, I want right, it will start the count from the end. Can we see that now? A bike store, it start from store, which means it count from the back, from the end, moving backward. So the first place you see that space, that delimiter will specify. That's where it is split there. Do we get that? And when I say, okay, well, I don't want this, I want each occurrence, it will, you can see, it splits all of them. Anywhere you find out delimiter, which is space, it will split it by them. So if there is 1,000 space in between those columns, it will split it by 1,000. I can see where you cannot find anything, you put null there because you cannot find anything to fill all those ones. Do we get that now? Do you get that? Okay, what if you have full name and where some have middle name and how do you split them? Yeah, I just explained different method of how you can split. You can actually split by what's it called? Left, right, and what's it called? And each occurrence. So there's what we call custom. So we come there, we come to advanced splitting. So the one that we call advanced splitting, the question you have here, you see much of there. We have what we call advanced splitting. So I will be showing you there. So yeah, that's for merging column and adding column. So that's for merging column and what? And splitting column rather. So the next one that we have here is what we call pivots. So what we call pivots is you see pivot and pivot are the same, they're just opposites. Just like you have been doing word and opposite since like when we started this data cleaning. So pivot means you want to convert all these one. You know, transpose is row to column, like row to column. So it means you want to convert all these rows to column. That's what transpose is, and that's what pivot is. Let's say I want to group all these products here by their category with the total sales that for each of these products. And I will just come here and I will say, you know what, pivot column. I select this column that I want to pivot. I want to pivot this category column here. Like, okay, I want to see the total sales for this category here, good frame for this one. I want to see it by rows. So what pivot and a pivot column means is that, okay, pivot means you want to make your data, your data to be wide. You want your data to be wide. So once I click on this thing now, this one that is 3 column will be over like 100 column. It will convert all these rows to respective columns. If I click on pivot column now, I will ask me, okay, which one do I want to, choose now for the new column. Yeah, I want sales. Okay, no, let me use product name because I want to see product name. I want to see product name by sales. Yeah.
At least you have there also.
So we can see it now. Sales. Good frame. You can see it converts all this to how can I put much into of this into explaining better? Like there's what we call pandas.dummies or in Python, something like that. pd.dummies. So so it's for pivots. Let me go back. Let me go through it again. So let me use pivot column, pivot category. Yeah. So you see, we have cells here and we have different categories. So for this one, for this column, you will not find anything here. It means because there is no cells for this one. So anywhere you find cells for each of those columns, you will find the icon here, one. You can see. You will find one because you can only find for this logo, you can only find one cells for it. So if you have multiple cells, like you can find 2 cells for each of this one, you will see the number of cells, the count of number you can see. Let me see if we have two icon here. Okay, 0 and 1. So for people that are from Python person here, wants learning Power BI, there's all this function in Python called like df.get dummies. It's used for like feature engineering. So what I just did now, you will understand better in pivots. Pivoting is not much, it's like grouping. Like grouping and you want to see count of each of the products that you want to see for this. So when we are doing about case study, I will understand much of this pivot column. Yeah. So this is something okay, product category unit price. Yes. Product category unique by cells. Oh, let me do this. Okay, I pivot by one column, product name and category. I pivot by one column. Let me pivot by two column. When I say pivots, I want to see by cells.
What you say? Think be some idea if you want to short from
Okay. So let's go some pivots. When we have a long data like this in Power BI, you have a long data like this given to you as you have here. So to unpivot this, you need to add this column that we have here. You click on this first column because you want to convert this column to this long data that we have in this pivot column before. This is what you need to get. So on pivot means this is pivoted already, but I think there is error coming from somewhere around there. I don't know why it's not pivoting. Pivot by product name. It's still not giving. It's still not given. Let me quickly do something. Okay. It's still not pivoting. Why? Okay. Pivots by what is this one? Product name. Okay. Pivot by product name. Why is it not pivoting here? So before that, it will come back to pivot column. I don't know why it's not pivoting, like giving me this. And I don't want to use transpose. So if you use transpose here, we actually get what we are talking about there. So if I say, okay, you know what? Transpose. Can you see that now? We can actually get what we did there. So transpose and pivot just like similar to each other. But I want to show you how to use all those pivots. So when you have a data like this and you want to convert into a long data, something like this. So you just come here, you select this and you come to on pivots. So there are two functions in this on pivots here. We have a on pivots column and on pivots other column, and we call on pivots only selected column. Because I select only this one, and I want other one to be a long data. Like I want this one to be my column, and I want other one to be a long data. I'll just come here, I'll say, you know what, on pivot other column. Can we see this now? So it means it takes these ones, and we can see the sales, the categories here, and everything. So what of pivots does for us is when we have a column that are long data, it will convert them into a value, like a number, and the text, like a category. So for this data that we have here, because we need to convert this product name, this 14, into their respective, it should be something like this: product name, product category, and sales. And for us to have that, you know, we are on pivot other column now. So before we on pivot, we need to bring this on. If you notice when we on pivot here, on pivot other column, when you're on pivot here, bring those category, all those product category, all those cells, and it neglects the product name, which it change into what's it called? Into another column here. So for us to have that, First, now on pivot dash, you now need to do what you now call here, like, okay, you know what? Go back to our previous things. And what you now do for us is this. Click on these. Click on these, and we need to have close the promoted data and on pivot to that column. So you see, you now have product name. We now have all of them in a category. You see, product category and all the stuff, and you have all this column name, which is the column at the top. So what we now need to do to now get our normal structure of this data that we have here is this. We close these. Okay. We have product category. We are bringing this product name here and the name cells. Product category name cells. So on pivots for the column, let me now see. Why am I not having my sales at the end? Marcon. Marcon. Okay. Malcolm, are you there? Let me. Malcolm, are you there? Okay, let's go back to this. Someone said I should remove the promoted data to pivots. Okay, and I'll say pivot by product name. Students, the header must be there so you can be able to navigate them, and I will do. Malcolm, are you there? Malcolm is not with me. So let me see. It's still not given. It's not making sense. Like, it's not giving me the actual value that I want. Why? What's wrong with this? What's wrong with these pivots? I need to have four column. Yeah, select this and on pivots. Malcolm is not here. I'm coming. Why is this not converting? Guys, let me come back to this pivots and on pivots. I'm having a little big issue. So let's move to our next time. Before we finish our class today, we'll rectify this. It's giving me some unusual. So let's go to adding column. We already know what adding column is. Very easy one. What adding column or what add column is just add columns together. So if you want to create a new column, let's say, okay, you want to know the profits. You have the unit price, you have the sales there. Okay, I've put out ID, put out number. Yeah. So adding column is this. For any time you want to add a new column, you can actually do all these addition there. You can see. You say, okay, you want to see the profits. You can perform all the calculation here. You don't need to write anything. Just click on what you want to do. I want sales minus unit price. So I will click on sales first and I'll select unit price as second. So you can see that now. So for me to now do that, you will come to your add column here. You see every function you see under all this add column. It means once you click on anything there, if you add a new column for you, as our column tab is telling you. So if I want to see the difference between these two now, can you guys hear me now? I'm getting some people here saying they can't hear me. So once you come to this add column and we come here, I will say, you know what? I want to have a new column that will tell us as profit. So I will click on my sales. I want to do sales minus unit price. I will come to standard there. Can you see the standard? I will say, you know what? Subtract. So in Power Query, you don't need to write anything, like everything is pre-built for you. You come to subtract and you can see a new column there. So in this new column now, you can now rename it to what? Profits. So that's how to create some mathematical, if you want to do some calculation. There is statistics, there is scientific. You want to raise to power, you want to square roots. There are other things you can play around with, the trigonometry if you want to perform your. So another way of adding column again is creating what we call a conditional column. So let's say a conditional column is this. Let's say I want to create a new column that will tell us size category. So I want to look into this size, and I say if size between, okay, is equal, because size is a number value. If size is equal to 48, it should be was conditional column. If size is equal to 48, it should give me medium. Else, if size is equal to 62, it should give me large. So if it's not between these two, it should give me anything. So once I click on OK now, we'll create a new column that will meet those conditions. Can we see this now? So this is what we call conditional column. If you want to add a new column to your Power Query, you want to enrich your data. So you can create a conditional column based on what you have in your existing data already that is already clean. So you can see, because I specify, okay, anything So what this R column does, this column dialog is that, okay, you should look into this. If it's equal to this, it should give you this. If it's equal to this, it should give you this. Else, if it's not equal to anything, like if you don't meet these two conditions, it should give you this last condition, which is else. So assuming you are having a wage, like, okay, if it's between 48 and 50, it should give you medium. If it's between 10 and 50, it should give you small. So that's when M code now come into use, how you can now modify, because you cannot do all those things in just little availability here. So that's how to add column, and we have format column here. Let's say, okay, you know what? You should add a new column for me that should format this column into uppercase. So when I click on, you see, it formats it into uppercase. So anything you perform under this add column, we create a new column for you. Don't forget, anything you perform under this add column, we create a new column for you. So that's for adding column. Before we move on, let's take in some questions because I know we have a lot of questions. Malcolm, are you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. You can hear me, right? If you can hear me, please let me know in the chat. I want to take in some questions. I'm taking some questions. So if you have a question before we move on, I see have a pending on people that we need to do. Kindly raise your hand so we can give you mic. You can put it on the chat. Okay, profit column. One. So Malcolm, if there's any hand raised in the, just grant them access.
Sure, definitely.
So for the profit column, before you create your profit column, you come to your add column here. This is what we have before. So you need to come to your add column tab before you create your column tab. Come to add column tab. So once you're add column tab, you select the column that you want to perform your calculation on. So I want to do sales minus unit price. So for you to do sales minus unit price, you need to click on the first one that you want to make first, sales as first, and I'll select unit price as second using your contour or your keyboard. So I've select the two, and I'll come to this standard here. This is where you perform your calculation. You can see statistics, sum, maximum, medium, standard. If you want to add it together, if you want to multiply it together, if you want to subtract it, divide, anything you want to do. So I want to subtract. I'll just click on subtract. Yeah, it's saying answer because I already have a step already. So when I click on insert, can you see that now? And you can rename it. You can rename it here and say this is profit. Oh, and you can rename it as what? Profit. Is that clear?
That's the question.
Is that clear? Okay. So any question before we move on? Any question before we move on? Okay. So cancel your by step. So our next one that we have here is what we call advanced splitting. Yes, this is what we call advanced splitting. So what advanced splitting means is, okay, you have some big thing you want to do. So let's say I want to extract everything from this name here. I want to extract the size. I want to have the size. I don't want the size here. Delete. I want to create a new. I want to make this data more enriched, and I want to have everything. So I want the size for this name. It is combined with the color name, which is black, and the product name. So how can I do that? I will come here and I will say, you know what, go to transform tab for me and split column by delimiter. So when I say split column by delimiter, we have how many things here? We want to split size, want to split. So it now depends on nodes what you want to split first. But for me, I want what? I want size first. I want size first. So what I will now do is this. I will come to select what I want. You see, show me comma. But what I'm seeing only here before comma is not only comma. It is comma and a space in between the comma and side. There is space in between them. So what I will do is, okay, you know what? Select split by custom and I now put comma and space. So it means it should split by this. Anywhere you see this one, it should split by them. So I want rightmost because I want to split the size first, which is starting at the end. So as I click on OK, you will see this angle. You see, it brings this angle out for me. Can you see that now? And I can rename this as well. Size. I will see that as size. That's one. The next one we want to do is what? Color. So for us to do this color, we do the same. There is what we call this space in between them. But don't forget that there are some that do not have color in between them. So for us to do that, we do split by column again. Split by delimiter rather. So, and you see, it's showing me that, okay, you should split by I find. But it is not only I find that I want to split by. I see a space between the product name and the color. So I will say come here, put space in before the I find, and put space after the I find. So anywhere you see this, it should split for me from there. So I can select leftmost or rightmost. Anyone, it will actually work fine as I want it to be. If I select leftmost now, it will come from this beginning and find it. Do we get that down? And for the other one that give not is because you cannot find the color for them. You cannot find those conditions I will put. That I find I will put. You cannot find it from these ones. So that's why we have no. Is that clear? Is that clear? We have some colors in size column. Okay, blue, black, this, yeah. So for us to do this, I think, okay, someone say you have some color in this. So we can create a new column for this too. So now have our final column. We'll come to our column here. and we come to our column, we say conditional column. So for us to now do this, we say, you know what? Our size column contain what's it called? Contain red, blue, contain red and blue. So I will say if size column contains or equals anyone contains which color is that? Black or blue. So contain black. Make sure you write it as it on the contain black. Then you should give me a column. What do I want? So what this option that I do here is enter value and selected column. You know, I enter value here. For this value, I enter value. So what I want for this select column is this, like, okay, if this size column actually contain or it should return a column that I select. And I want to return this column that contain colors. So I will say, you know what? Return this column for me. Name 1, 2. So if it contain black, instead of it to now say, okay, I want to do, you will return this column for me. It will not create a new something. Like it will return this column. You will get what I mean now. Or else if size equals blue, it should give me what? It should give me this column too, which is name 1, 2. Else, if it doesn't meet that condition, it should give me that same column. And okay. Okay, red, black, blue. Okay, red, black, blue. So we need to come back here. I just said the condition well, red, black, blue. And I'll come back here. Sorry. I'll come back to my settings here and I'll say it should return the size column because the size column that contain the so this should return the size column. And if it contain word, should return the size column too. So else it should return this. Can we see that now? Can we see we have this here and we have this here and we have this here? So these are conditional column. How you can create more of your column if you want to do. So what this does now is look into this. I set the condition like, okay, if this size there contain red, it should return that red for the new column for me. If it contain black, it should return black for the new column for me. If it contain blue, it should return blue as a new column for me. Else, if it doesn't meet any condition, like it contain numbers, it should not return numbers. It should return all the values that is inside this place. Is that clear? Some of the colors still have like 150 words. Stulia, which one is that? 150 red. 150 red. Okay, this one. Thank you. So we still have some words there. Thank you for looking into that. So what we now do for all this one that this now is just that same split column that we'll do. We come here before we now do that. Before we do, let's come to our last split column. Okay. Where do we split it to? So let me split this column. Hello. After that, I will say, you know what? Split column again for me. You can right click and come to split column here by delimiter. Insert. But now when you are splitting now, you now need to be careful. Because if you split by leftmost by right, it will affect all of this one here. Right? It will affect all of this one if you say you want to do. So what we now need to do here is this. We need to extract. We need to extract column. We need to extract this word here. So we come to our column and we say extract. And we now say for this extract, you know what we should look for us. Gosh. You know what should do, Luke? Let's see what we can do from this extract. This will be so super little hard to extract.
Hello, Mubar.
Yeah?
Oh, why don't I make a suggestion? If that's okay.
Sure.
Okay, when we had like the space, the hyphen and the space, we were able to separate it to give us
Yeah.
name, right? So what if we now split by space in a different column, right? Then combine or create a condition where if this first name is blank, then return the second way splitted by space.
Actually, I didn't actually get that much.
Okay, so we have splitted by a space, a hyphen and a space, right?
Yeah.
So if we split again to a new column by space only, that way it's going to extract the ones we've already extracted, and it's still going to extract red and black. That's these ones that haven't been extracted on a new column, right? Then we try to combine this name 1.2 with name, let's say 1.3, using a conditional column where when name 1.2 is giving us null, then give us the values in name 1.1, which are the ones that you already splitted by space.
Oh, like you mean we should split this column here, this name 1.1 by space, right?
Yeah, to a new column.
So if you split by space, it will give us everything like frame, helmets, and other
Yeah,
column.
yeah. Then you now be combining, or more like creating a condition. So when name 1.2 is blank or null, okay, the issue now is going to extract this helmet, socks, and cap.
That's it. I think we got
Yeah,
that now. I know
yeah.
I'm lazy. I'm already thinking of where I can do this without going more stress. I'm lazy. So who can give us something like any idea? Extract after the last one. If you extract after the last one, like I want to add a new column, it will affect everything in this column. It affects everything in this column. It affects everything in this column. We only have red and what? We only have red and black, right? White? Let me know. We only have red and black in this column, right? Are you following? Thank you. So I'm already thinking of a way we can do this. That's why we call it advanced splitting. So what I will do here is this. I only have 3 red. I will come here. I will copy this one. Control C. One. I will come to this 452. I will copy Control C. I'll come to this black too. I think this my method might work. Oh. So I'll come to conditional column, or let me write. Okay, we have not got to end codes. Okay, let me start introducing end codes like that. Let me start introducing end codes. So you have what we call custom function. Or let me even add a condition here. I will modify it later. Insert a condition column. So if name 1.1 contains um contains road 150 red, it should return red for me. Else, if one point contains anyone I actually do, whether it's good 150 or good 450, contains good 450, it should return what again? Red. Else, if it contains wood 650, it should return black. So else, it doesn't meet those conditions. It should give me what is the column type? Name 1.2. And click on OK. Do you get that? Hello? Today I haven't answered your question. Do you get that now? No. Okay. My screen is frozen. I don't think it's mine. Okay, so yeah, you can go on. If you're having issue with my screen, you cannot see my screen, it's from your hand. So yeah, you can go on. You can request for the mic. Malcolm, please give her the let me allow her. Okay, yeah, you can go on now.
All right, thank you, Mubarak. So I was suggesting that the numbers after the colors are much. We have 150, 650, 450, and all. So I was suggesting if we could just pick like, okay, extract from, let's say 0, like, because we can see the pattern. Everything is just 150, 450, 650, and all. Then color follows. I don't think there's any other thing on the column that has numbers and maybe something else follows. Then after splitting it based on extracting after 0, I think we'll have elements. From what I can see, I can't see the data very well, but I think we have elements. Then we can now
Yes.
exempt or delete elements only from that column, then merge it with the color column. So that's my suggestion. So I don't know if that works. So
It will not work because from this one we have here, we already split some column here. You can see HL wrote some. Can you see my screen?
yeah, but sorry, just to cut you short, like for example, this mountain bike socks doesn't have numbers. Will it still split it
Yes.
since it doesn't have number? Like will it extract? It won't extract anything, right?
Do you understand what I just did when I'm adding this column?
So for what I understand from this column was that you split it by space. Then the other one you
Yeah, I
wanted to
first
split
split.
by hyphen. Okay, I'm listening.
Yes, I splitted by space, which is the first one.
All right.
I splitted by comma and space rather, which is for the first one. And the second one, I splitted by space and hyphen to extract the color.
Mm-hmm.
To extract the color. So we now discover that okay, there are some color that is not splitted.
Yeah.
So to now do that one now, because if I say okay, I should split by space again, it will affect all these other one. And I don't want to, because even though we do this, I can actually clear condition later. But I don't want a long process. So I now think of a way I can do is to check a conditional column that I can do, which is what I did there. Conditional column that you know what? Look into this for me. If it contains this value that I put in here, it should return red for me. If it contains this
Okay.
one, it should return red. And this will contain this one, it should return black. Else, if it doesn't meet those conditions, it should return the color column that I already have.
All right. All right. I totally understand.
And it now gave me this. Can you see this now? So for
Yes.
this 150 now, you see red, red, red. For 650, you see black, black, black.
Perfect.
So
I totally
what we now do for this one now is this. I will now come here. I can now come to transform. I will say, you know what? Let me see if I can now extract. I cannot even do that yet, so because it affects, it will still affect other column here. So this is kind of much of into much of M codes, transforming this kind of data here, like something like this. It will go much into much of getting much of time. So, and it will go more into modifying some M code, but we have not gone into M code. I think we will get into that soon now. Yeah, we'll get into that soon. So the last one we have here is what we call group by. Group by. Let me see. We have pivot column here before. So let me see this. So let's do some little goodbye here. So let me explain what goodbye is. Before we now move on, I'll come back into this pivot and explain again before we move on. Goodbye. Advanced splitting. What's wrong? So for goodbye, what you do is this. Goodbye means you want to group by a specific you want to group a value by a specific text or specific categories. You see, we have many good frame here and different categories, and we have their cells. So to do goodbye now, you just come to your transform tab. You come to select the column you want to group by. You say goodbye. You know what? Okay, I want to put a category by. You can see different operations here, whether it's sum or count or anything you want to do. But let me do sum. I want to put a category by sum of the cells. So you should rename it by goodbye. So I want to group by sum of the cells. When I click on OK, you will see you can see that now. So word frame, we have the total cells for this. Elements, we have the total cells for this, for each of those product category. Do you get what goodbye means now? I say goodbye is something so simple. Do you get what goodbye means? Yes, 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 it is possible. You see what you just did, and it's on the what was it called? Here that we split here. The original column is still there. We didn't remove it. So this is it. Like if you want to remove it, you can duplicate the column, like the original column you had before. You can duplicate it to save it as a backup. Anything you want to do. So everything will still be there. And if you want to go back there, you come back to your last apply step here. This is the original data. So you just come to your apply step. You can actually duplicate from here, duplicate, and you insert a new step. And when you come back to your last one, what's happening? Cannot control Z. So, and that's it. And this for goodbye. You see, we go by product category, You say, okay, you don't want sum, you want average of cells. It will give you the average. Can you see that? So you can specify different kind of aggregate that you want. You can say the minimum, maximum, based on the condition that you want to do. So that's for group by. So for this pivot, let's come back to what pivot is. Pivot and non-pivot. Okay, is a many pivots and non-pivots. After that, what do we have? We have what we call M code. So pivots and non-pivots are just opposite of each other. And what pivot does is it change a long data into a long column, like a long data into a wide data, which is a long columns. And this is useful when you're having a data that containing months. The data that is containing months in your analysis, for your analysis rather. So, bring in the data. Let me bring in the data. Let me explain what the use case of. Let me explain the use case of.
Yeah, when I'm going to be that side.
Let me bring in the use case before we move on. Avoid this pivot and non-pivot. Yeah. So when you have a data like this for your analysis, you are given this kind of data in for your reports. So for each of these, to be able to do each of these chip mode, all this instance here contain the state of where all these ship mode is. And the ship mode is this category, but all this one are the states. And this is the number of products for these are the number of products for each of these states that they make purchases for this category. So what you need to do is to see, okay, for each thing, how many products it is. It is 4, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 here. No, it's not 4. Yeah, each thing contains 4, which is first class same day. Waco contain this one. So it means first class contain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this long data now you now need to convert it. This wide data is convert it into a long data. So for you to do that now, let's say How can I bring this into Power Query? Can I bring this into Power Query? Let me go. New source, Excel. Excel. So for this now, what to do is to just come here now and I'll say, you know what? Come to transform on pivot other column. Can we see this now? Same thing we are having, okay, when I unpivot this too. But because I have this one doesn't contain I need to remove this. Yeah. We have for this first class now, for this ship mode, for this state, there is 7. If you look at what we had before, look at what we had before. You see, for Houston, for first class, there is 7. For Waco, there is 5. So it means it converts all this long column here into a long rows, which is like a reform our data. So for this first class now, it will contain like how many columns now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Let's assume it's 10. So if I come to what you on pivot, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you pick it from all those columns, Houston as a column, Waco to the last one. You pick them and convert them into a long data. So where this is applicable is when you have your data in Excel in this form, like they show you, okay, you have January 2020, February 2020, March 2020, so in 2020, you have a date or a trend data. Mostly that's what you actually have most time. When you have a trend data in form of that shape, you use on pivot to convert it into what Power Query can understand. And you can be able to use it for analysis. Let's say you have February 2022 now, January and March 2022. So Power Query will not understand this thing until you convert it into a column. All those February 2022, so when you transform them into a long data like this, into a long data, you see February 2022. So you can now convert them into a date column or a date, assign their data categories to them. So you can use it for your analysis. That's where pivots and on pivot column, that's where they are useful. Do we get that? So for this time, we can now rename them as, okay, this is states. This is what? Number of orders. Anyone you want to call it. So that's it. So the next one we are going into before we move on to this, introduction to M code. What is M code? You see, everything we have been doing since morning is stored into what we call, let me go back to this advanced place unit. I think we do much of it. Everything we have been doing since is stored into what we call M code. So if you want to see what M code is, you come into your home tab and you see advanced editor here. So you see all these steps that you are seeing here, all these apply steps you are doing are what we call M code. Because all these things are previewed function, we just need to just select the function that we want and we perform it. And this is the language that all those functions is writing for us behind the scene that we don't need to write. So there are some functions that are okay, there are things you need to write that I will not give you, but you need to modify it so you can get it. To get started into M code, we have what we call the what's it called? The initiative function. It means before anytime you want to do anything in Power Query, this is initiation. It means it is initiating for you that okay, you want to perform a process, a transformation in Power Query. So this is automatically created. And you have a variable. Everything you see here that is equal to is called a variable. A variable is where you store a function that you want to perform. You store it inside it, so you can reference it in another place. So you can see now, another function is created. Advanced split sheet something, and you can see this source. This source here is referencing to this source, this first variable here. So this second one, you will see them, they are referencing to the last one. For the next variable, you will see it referencing to the last one. So that's how M-code works. That's how M-code works. So to create a variable in M-code, you need to use hash in front and comma and everything. So you don't need to know these things, but you just need to understand what's all of this. So that's what M-code is. How can you now modify M-code? We created a column the other time where we have, okay, is it here or adding column? I think it's that column. So you want to create a new column that is anything, I think. Yeah. So we have size. I want to generate a new column for them. So for me to now add this column here, I don't want this column again. I want a new column. Let me create a new column. I will come to add column here, and I will say custom column. So this custom column is where I will now write my mashup language. I will say, you know what? M-code function, M-code column. And I will say, if this column, size column, inserts, if size column is greater than or equal to 15 and size less than equal to 35, then it should give me what? It should give me small. Is it 35 or 25? Let me use 25. Else, let me copy this one again. Else, if size is greater than equal to 25 and less than equal to 45, then it should give me what? It should give me medium. Sorry, I need to put this one into parentheses. Medium, like into a string. So we'll notify it the text I'm putting. Else, if it doesn't meet those two, it should give me what? Large. So as I click on OK now, we will see what it's giving us. We're having some error, we're having some large. Can we see that now? This is what we just did. And those are how you write your M codes. Those are codes you write because there are some conditions that you cannot perform in your Power Query here. Like you cannot perform with the function, you need to write them yourself. So, and those are part of example of standard condition. So another one now to modify encode is what I will show you here. So So let's see how we can modify. Let's see how we can modify some M code here. When it comes to advanced splitting. So in advanced splitting, there's what we call modifying M code. I want to perform this function that say, okay, split by space, split by what again? I want to do 3 split by, and I don't like doing this split by one. So I can come here to my split column here, and I will say, okay, you know what? I want to modify this thing. I don't want to be writing much. I don't want to be performing the same step again. So for this split by, I want it to remove space, and I want it to remove what again? This hyphen and hyphen. I will say, come here. You see this split by each delimiter. I don't want each. I want any delimiter. So in this any delimiter, I can now specify multiple things. So look into that one and look into space, hyphen, and space. So if you look into space, hyphen, and space, you should split anywhere you see these two that I mentioned here, split it by there. Once I click on OK here, you can see that, okay, can you see what he just did now? He picked space and he picked those ones together. Do we get that? And that's how you modify M code. So I've shown you what M code is, and I've shown you how you can modify M code. So this organizing query and this one should be in data modeling, which we'll cover on Wednesday. So now that's all we have for today, and that's all we have for data transformation and augmentation. So our question comes in now before we now move on. So someone say my screen is frozen. This is how it is for everyone.
I think it's the person's network. The skin is not frozen.
That's what I think, too, because it's from their network. Sorry if you're using M10. I believe everybody here that are having network issue, you are using M10 or Airtel. So if you're using both or anyone, you are what's it called?
Go dey explain tire.
It's little slow. M10 is showing them shaking. And people that are not using network provider in Nigeria that are not
I
in
don't
Nigeria.
think is the network. Actually, you were talking faster than the screen, so you would have done it before the screen moves or something. So I don't know if it's Teams or I don't know. So I think everybody just have the issue in a different ways. So well,
I
yeah,
think
that was how it was. So you'd have explained and move on to another thing. Then your screen now had to change to what you just said previously. But yeah,
Sorry
but for
about
me,
that. The good
it
thing
is the
is that
network.
it's a
It is
recorded
the
session, so
network.
you can always go back, you know. You can
yeah,
always
thank you
go
so
back.
much. Yeah,
It is
thank
the
you.
network. So I think,
So
yeah, it's a
I
service
have a
provider for everyone.
question.
Okay.
So my question is, I did not quite understand that pivot part. Like it's somehow
Okay.
confusing. I don't know if you clicked one column before on pivoting others. It's just somehow like it's not really clear. Please, if you can just like explain it, please. Sorry to drag you back a little bit. Thank you.
Yeah, I won't be able to do that. Pivot is in that feature, and I will provide the resources where you can like some articles that will explain more better for pivots. For okay, let me see if I can pull this in. So pivot means I want to change this long data into this long data into a wide data. It means it will be across the column as we have here. I opened some Excel file. So this is a pivot, this is the pivoted data already. This is how pivoted data always look. Do you get it? This is the pivoted data. So the pivoted data means you have your, okay, let's say, let me create something. Let me say category. Let me create something here in Excel. And I'll say for this month, January 2023. So you can see that now, February 2023. March 2023. March 2023, and what we call again? April 2023. After April, what do we have again? May 2023. So let me put some value down here. Just see. So for this now, let me bring this into so let me bring this to Power BI. Peter, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here, Mova.
Okay, I can see someone wants to join. So
I think the person's network is fluctuating. If I try to add, don't come for lobby.
okay. So I need to unpivot this now. Let me unpivot it. I will now pivot it back for you. So what unpivot means is this now. Okay, I want to see the trend of all these products here, like products count by their trend. So I cannot see it by this. I cannot do my analysis like this. So I need to unpivot this first. What I just come here is to transform on pivot other column. So you can see and can bring the dates for me for each of these products. And I can convert this date here into the dates value, which is what I have here. So I can show the trend of each of these category by the number of products. So I don't want to change type. So to now do back into on pivot, to pivot it back to where it is before, I will come to, you know what, select this column for me and pivot it into, pivot into category. Let's see what it gives us. Do you get that now? You see, it has removed that category because I select category for what it used to do. But I think I can modify that. Let's see if I can modify that. So let's say I pick these two. I say it's still the same value. Okay. Let me see for. If it is value, it would be at the column. Yes. I want for the value. Hello, Solia.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Do you get that now?
Yes, it's clear. Thank you so much.
So in your analysis, pivot is not actually needed. But I'm just trying to show you that okay, this is the pivoted data already. So for your analysis, that anytime you do your analysis, you did it on pivot, which should give you this value. And you can put into, so this is a case study that you need on pivot and pivot. When you have some data in this kind of like you have a categorical data or data that contain, what's it called? Data that contain trends, but it's not in the form, it is not in the form of trend. So you need to convert it into a form that will be able for you to that will be easy for you to perform your analysis. This is the data that I will bring in. But for us to have the analysis that you want, we need to unpivot this into this. And when you unpivot this, you can now convert this one into a date format, like assign the data category that we want, which gives us this, right? So you can now show your analysis. Okay, for first class, for January, this is total something that we have. For February, this is total something that we have. Is that clear? So, anybody have question? Okay. Someone says that's for see my question. Face, can you give them mic to speak? We have patience and we have PJ.
Hi, Muba.
Mercy.
We already filed. It's already past 9
Yeah. Just like we have 5 minutes to go. Sorry, madam.
Okay, give me a minute. Let me accept this
We only
people.
have two people. So
Yeah. So patient EO, I'll mute you now and then you can speak.
unmute
So
both of
patient
them.
EO,
So
please ask your question.
anybody
No,
that
I don't
come
want
first.
one. Yeah, okay. Okay, anyone
Hello,
now.
can
Oh
you
yeah,
hear me?
PJ. I don't still allow you. You can speak. Hi, patient.
Okay.
Ask the question.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Muba, thank you for the section. Please, I'm going to ask if the
Yeah, we can,
recorded
but you're breaking
section is
out.
going to be, with the recorded section, is it going to be hanging? Because I think the whole section has been hanging all along, so it was very difficult for me to follow.
I
No,
can't answer that.
this
I
is
can't answer that. I think it's your network. Once you get the session, you can follow through. So
No, I'm trying to ask if the recorded section is going to be hanging too.
I don't know.
it will not hang.
That's just it. But
Oh,
it will not hang because I don't have any issue.
amen.
But I don't know.
No,
Amen.
see, the
Amen
thing is,
too.
it
Amen.
was recorded by the host, that's Movers Network, which was not hanging at
Yeah.
the time. So it will
Okay.
not hang. Unless
Okay.
if your network, you're not watching it and your network is not still good, that's when it will not hang.
Well, I don't
But if your
think it's a
network is good,
network thing, no.
no, it is. It's network because it's not hanging. It's not hanging here. It's not been hanging on my end. So,
Okay.
That's
so
it.
All right. Thank you.
So PJ,
no.
thank you. Welcome.
PJ, please go
PJ,
ahead and ask your question. PJ Max.
PJ Mask. Sorry that we call you PJ Mask. PJ is best in though. We don't want to answer.
Hi, PJ. I've allowed your mic, so you can please come off mute and ask your questions.
PJ
Yeah,
don't
can you
want
hear
to
me now?
answer.
Can you hear me? Sorry, can
Yeah,
you
we
hear
can
me?
Yeah, we
hear you.
can.
Hi, PJ.
Yeah, thank you for the class. I'm so grateful. I want concerning the assignment. I went through the manual before doing the assignment. Around like 11 p.m., I wanted to connect and do the assignment. I could not. I didn't have access to the form. It was not responding. So I just wanted to find out: is it that we have to finish do the assignment before it is 11? Because I thought maybe it will still be open until like 12.
Yeah, because it is, the time stated, okay, maybe the time is not there, but I already said, okay, the duration for the assignment is on Sunday.
Yes, Sunday.
You put
Yes.
in the, what's it called? And once already closed, because it's set automatically. I don't even check the assignment, like check the time.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think I put 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. So it has closed.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that
So for
too.
people
I
that did
thought.
their assignments,
Hmm,
for people that did their assignments, so they will get the results. They will get their results maybe tomorrow
ah,
or this week,
I'm
sha.
not.
So you should
I'm
prepare
not.
for the next assignments. Like
Okay. Okay.
there'll be next assignment to practice what you just learned about data cleaning and data transformation. So you should
Okay.
go through that. If you have any issue, go to the group. People can help you out there. There are a lot of experts in the group. So they
Okay.
can actually, you guys should help yourself around. Because there are some questions in the group that some people are asking. But you're like, these are some basic things I've keep repeating. Like you guys can teach you guys to each other and stuff like that. So
Okay.
that's
Thank you
it.
so much. I
Then
appreciate you. Thank you.
Milola, can you put your question here because you are not taking any question to the voice again? Yeah, Damilola, let me accept you. This is the last one. Sorry, Faith. You can speak now.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you very much. Sorry, when you were talking about the assignment, I can only see one that you sent last week. I've worked on that one. So the last email you sent yesterday or
Yeah,
so,
there's no
or thereabout,
assignments. Yeah, there's no assignment.
after the
There's no
first one.
assignment for the
All right,
person. Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
thank you.
So you get the new assignment, you get a new task this week, sure. So to practice all this data cleaning so you can put it into practice. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you guys for today's class. Thank you for nice having you here. I'm sorry for the issues everybody's having. It's from your end if you don't, but you get the recorded session. So everything will be intact. So don't forget. So don't forget to